It can't happen right now, but there's always June and July.
There always is June and July. Well, I have 6 teams that I want to pick your brain about, and the Hawks are one of them. We'll get into them in a little bit later. But I want to get your sentiment on whether or not these franchises are trending up or down. I have my own ideas here, but I think this would be a fun back and forth exercise to kind of figure out where the teams. It's not the obvious aspects like, oh, the Denver Nuggets, they're trending up. Many are saying the Milwaukee Bucks. I would say there's not really a case against which way they're trending at this point in time. But there are a couple that I thought would be fascinating. The first one I have is the Magic, Howard. Are they trending up? Like Jonathan Isaac came back for a blip and then he was shut down again. Markelle Fultz starts, like Jalen Suggs is interesting-ish off the bench. Like I love watching Franz Wagner and what he is doing. He's a lot of fun. But I don't know. Are they trending up for you? Is this a franchise that is moving finally in the right direction?
I'm going to say yes, an unqualified yes, which is a hard thing to say, to be unqualified on anything positive about the Magic, considering how long they have been not just bad, but thoroughly uninteresting.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be trending up because the mere fact that they have at least 2 really, really good players and maybe some others, but 2 for sure, and so they started this season 5-20 and are 23-20 since then. Hard to wave off a 25 game sample size at the start, but I'm just saying, like, once they kind of got things rolling and kind of figured out rotation and Banchero got into a flow and everything, 23-20 is that's a substantial second season sample size basically. And considering how long this team has been down, they have to be trending up. They can't trend down any further than they were. They're not. It's not a stark line. It's not like if we're doing this on a graph. It's not like this massive spike all of a sudden. But the trend line is up. Quick couple of data points here. Last time they had a winning record was the 2018-19 season. That's 4 years ago, and that was 42-40. They were barely over 500, and their leading scorer was Vooch with just under 21 points a game. Before that, the last time you could find a winning season by the Magic was in 2011-12. That was the shortened season, the lockout shortened season. So they went 37-29. That's the equivalent of a 46 win season. So that's at least a solid winning record. And that was, of course, Dwight. And they just haven't had anybody to hang their hat on since. All of which is to say that with Banchero and Wagner as their core, they have promise. Like they have something substantial. Like I know that there was the brief, Jonathan Isaac is going to be a defensive player of the year candidate perennially. And if he develops an offensive game, blah, blah, blah. Like that's already like 3 or 4 what ifs and caveats and developments ago. Like that's the Isaac thing is done. Like it's, I don't mean he's done, but like, he's not their future. They have a future now. That was the whole problem
now.
I mean, look, there's still plenty of time for Jonathan Isaac to get his body right and stay healthy. But you're not counting on that, nor do you have to. The point is not to throw, dirt on his career. The point is you have other guys who now represent the future of your franchise, who represent hope, who represent skill and, bankable points and rebounds and assists and a functioning foundation. You've got Banchero and Wagner. They're in good shape. They could really use a seasoned, savvy point guard. I know, Fultz has kind of revived his career, but like, it'd be a really fun Fred VanVleet destination. Or I don't know if Mike Conley stays in Minnesota. Could they get Mike Conley? Like somebody like that, just a consummate leader type, brings everybody together and can help kind of like, shepherd the young guys a little bit.
I think they deserve credit too, because I think they've done because a lot of these teams that do the full on teardown, it's a lot easier said than done. And I think one of the things that they have an identity. We know exactly what Weltman and company want to build, right? Like we know what kind of guys they're attracting, they're trying to do the Bucks thing, which I get, but they're actually developing their core pieces. Like Paolo Banchero, he's almost 8 free throws a game as a rookie. Like you watch the Magic, he is decisive. He is intense. He wants smoke. Like he has the makeup of a future star in this league. He's not afraid to shoot. The shot's not there. He's like 30% from 3, but like I look at the free throws with him, and when I watched Magic Jazz the other morning, because just some real NBA sicko behavior at 6:30 a.m. I'm just watching Jazz Magic. Look, Howard, we all have our choices in life, and that was mine one morning this week. And one of the things that stood out was just that, like, Gary Harris is just a actual deep threat again from three. Like, he had obviously been dealing with all kinds of injury troubles and over the years, but like, he was someone that we were all super high on 4 to 5 years ago, where I think there was a piece in 538 where it's like, is Gary Harris the next Kawhi Leonard? And that was where he was at that time, but obviously that's not what happened. But he's shooting 40+% from three. He's turned into a really good role player for them. Jamal Mosley, I think, has done a really good job finding a way to navigate a kind of sneaky bloated rotation, where it's like something I thought about going in the year. I'm like, how is he going to organize this backcourt? How is he going to organize the options that he has with Wendell Carter and company at the big spots? Like, and he's doing a really good job. And I think when you look at what Franz is already developing into, which is a really good, maybe even all-star player in the next couple of years with his passing, his shot making, another guy who's really good at grabbing the boards. Their identity is, we're going to get to the line. Like, all these guys attack, all these guys go to the line, they rebound well. That's at least a starting point, and you have your role guys who are playing pretty well. I think things are looking up. I think if you're a Magic fan, you look at it, you're like, you're 12 games under 500 at this point, but you're closer to 500 than not. And like you said, 4 to 5 years ago, where they were 42-40, those weren't young guys that were nearing 500. You were just hanging on by a thread and really trying not to
That was one of those fake competitive, like, we're doing this just so we can, we just want to be the 8th seed, get our butts kicked, but hey, at least we were in the playoffs. I think those are like the worst kinds of, like, there are different kinds of 7-8 seeds. Mm-hmm. There's the 7-8 seed because you're a young team legitimately on the rise and it's your breakthrough moment, right? Mm-hmm. We see those at times. There's the once was a good team and we're on our way down and we're just stopping over at the bottom of the playoff bracket for a minute before we fall off a cliff and tank. And then there's the treadmill of mediocrity. And the Magic have been like, they haven't even been on the treadmill of mediocrity. They've been too crappy to be on the treadmill due to a lot of bad drafting and a lot of bad deals over the years, whatever. They finally now have got some momentum with a couple of good picks, obviously, and credit for that. But, they were one of those teams that was the worst kind of 7th, 8th seed type, which is we're chasing the 8th seed. We're not good enough for this to be a stepping stone to top 4. We're just here because we don't have the heart to tank right now.
Yeah.
And that's what the Bulls did last year too, right? Same kind of thing.
I mean, they're kind of doing that right now. Like,
the Bulls are doing right now too. Yes. Yeah. The Bulls with Vooch, by the way. Vooch is a great ticket to the 8th seed.
Yeah. But we agree there. I like it. We both agree on the Orlando Magic trending up. And I'm excited. They get another lottery pick. Like, they're not going to play in or any of that. Like, they get one more. And I think they're